whereby the focus is on Science Direct AI. Okay, Science Direct AI will be the main focus, and we'll start off with some preamble on AI, what AI is all about, in a way, the expectation of AI, and our fascination. And then we'll look at AI into research writing, and then we'll look into Science AI. So we kick off with the preamble, okay, the opening. I think most of you are familiar with AI. AI has been in the forefront. Everybody's looking at it, everybody using it ever since in November 2023 when OpenAI released ChatGPT. There will be a lot of tools, mostly generally LLM based, large language model based, but you have the dominant tools like ChatGPT. You're going to have Gemini from Google. You're going to have several other tools. But this fascination is actually not uh, it is not new. Actually, if you look from the perspective of the different culture, okay, we already have this fascination of an intelligence that is not us. Okay, we call it artificial intelligence. Okay, in Malay we call it kepintaran buatan. So you can see that it is already being uh, visualized as early as 1927. Okay, and you can see that even in the more recent movie Her in 2013, where you have Scarlett Johansson and Joaquin Phoenix talking about AI, where where you have where you have people fascinated being the presence of an AI in their lives. Okay, you have science fiction, as different expectation. The Terminator, this is a physical manifestation of the AI in the physical robot film. So even we have looked at our fascination in terms of living in an AI. Here, if you look at the yeah, it's a Lazada season. So we have the fascination of humanity living inside AI itself. So from AI external, physical, in our lives, and then you're gonna have we living in an AI itself. So that fascination has long been with us. Okay, so we'll just go straight to the next slide. Okay, so yeah, and AI in the world right now, if you look at the news, you can see everybody um, looking into AI as an opportunity for prosperity, increase in revenue. And you can have reports from McKinsey, 4.4 trillion. So this was in July 2023, where it's during the peak of release of AI tools. You can have Forbes telling us in 2025 March, okay, where is the next $1 trillion company? Is AI shaping the future? So all this news. Then you have Ogilvy, quite a very famous advertiser in the advertising, in the media industry. So Creativity Business Society in the age of AI. So they have a flashover. So we have a workforce, the robots that we visualize in our movies, okay, that we portray in our medium, in our science fiction, now has been introduced, has been incorporated into the planning of the future, where you can see AI human collaboration here, a centaur workforce. So even AI now, new scientists, okay, 2 years ago has talked about mind reading AI, translating brain waves into written text, etc. So we have Neuralink from uh, Elon Musk, one of Elon Musk companies. You have talk about an AI twin. Imagine you have yourself as a digital twin run by AI. Okay, so this is the future that people has been talking about. And going back to the context of today's talk, we're going to look at AI in research, especially in terms of the contribution that it has been doing since the past 1 or 2 decades. So you can see drug discovery, the most famous tool of machine learning, Halcyon. So they have used existing data to find and to look at repurposing of drugs. So the talk about drug discovery using AI has been early on discussed, and you see last year, okay, this year actually, who won the medal, the Nobel Prize for protein structure. This is AI. Biochemists and two computer scientists using AI share the top award in chemistry. So the middle and the right Google researchers, and we have Professor David from Washington University winning the Nobel Prize on the basis of an AI technology, AI fundamental discovery. So this is himself on the moment that they told him, the Nobel Prize Committee called him from Stockholm and to tell him that he won the Nobel Prize. So he was here. This is the exact moment where he was told that he won the Nobel Prize. And then you see Hopfield and Hinton. Okay, they also won on the same prize, but in physics. Okay, David won in chemistry. Hopfield and Hinton won in physics. So their win are also based upon machine learning, which is the father of AI. You can see the father of AI at the origin of artificial intelligence. Previously, it's been called machine learning, less sexy names, but now everything is AI, even though the underlying principle is still identical. And then you can see here how AI revolutionized protein science, but didn't end it. You open up, so this is the AlphaFold, the basis of the Nobel Prize that Hassabis and David Baker won for chemistry. So all this talk about AI in research has already shown all these awards or the recognition. It's already shown that AI is here to stay, and AI has been used for a greater impact. The recognition is there, the output is there. So, for example, AlphaFold is a big contribution towards computational biochemistry, protein sciences. You can see new, even as early as 2020, machine learning to discover new antibiotic. This is Halicin that I told you about, Newsweek. So this was in 2020, years before ChatGPT is actually being released. And you can see they are also changing in other aspect of research, how AI is changing astronomy, machine learning, and this is actually in July 2022. So this actually precludes the launch of ChatGPT, the AI that we know today, that we use mostly in general terms for language and textual analysis. Okay, and then we have here a group of researchers testing out Science.ai. Okay, they studied it, they tested with 30,000 users, and they found out that it has been very beneficial for the 30,000 users. They got the data. So this is what we're gonna go slightly deeper after this. So AI research writing. So when talk about AI in research writing, there are many tools. Okay, we do not want to exclude others, because if you look on the left there, you have Notebook LM, we have Elicit, you have Cite, you have Paper Guide, you have Undermine. Most recent one you have Humata. The older ones are like Connected Papers. Cite is considered an older version. Okay, and you have the notebook style, where you compile your researcher into a folder, a workspace that you can use AI to analyze control amount of content based on the content that you feed into it. That is Notebook LM. So you can have a lot of tools, a lot of uh, software available out there. So Science Direct is one of many. Okay, so you have here guides as well. You have, for example, University of Oklahoma release a guide, AI academic research and writing. So they have a detailed list on what to do, what, when, and which stage of the research. So you have reviews, Zendy best 46 AI tools for research. You have independent users. You have other AIs also looking at how to conduct literature reviews, AI tools. So the guide, the content, all the things that is available out there has also been reviewed and tested and also being commented upon by the peers, by the community. So you can have a go, have a look. It's out there. The resources are out there. And for the purpose of today, we'll highlight Science.ai, which is the newest service tool by um, Elsevier, which I myself use. So we're going to look into in greater detail for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so Science Direct is a tool where the main advantage, so you're going to have all these researchers, right? All this data, all these um, instrument, okay, software that you use, but the advantage is the corpus, the source of the information. So the AI, Science Direct AI under Elsevier only uses the data of paper published in Scopus. Okay, so with that you can trace the source, you can reproduce, and they have a few functions that will be helpful for you uh, as well. So you have here, okay, the technical advantage. You have 18 million peer review article. You have the book chapters, all those being reviewed, being vetted, been checked by the publisher itself. You have access to open access article. You have 15 partner publication, and also you have AI features within the Mendeley if you have a bibliometric tool. So I think from my experience, the great thing about Science.ai is the use of natural language queries and summaries. So you don't actually, it's not as functional as a transactional tool. Okay, you don't treat it as a transaction. You use the natural language for you to understand, because you have to remember, we want to use AI as a research partner, not purely as a research transactional tool. So you don't want to say that, okay, instruct it to do something without you having the necessary comprehension. So by having Science.ai can then be a partner to increase your cognitive. Remember, you don't want to offload your cognitive, your thinking process to the AI. You want the AI to help you become a filter, a parser of knowledge, to give you quality content, to give you the source, and to give explanation to help you understand, not do your task. Okay, if you assign your AI to do the task, yes, you will complete your task, but then you will not have the what we call the friction rich environment, which then sharpen your mind, sharpen your thinking process. You'll get the result, you can get the table, but you don't understand why, how the AI does it, what is the criteria for the AI selection. So you must avoid offloading the cognitive task. Okay, the routine task, the data extraction task, the tabulating task. Yes, you can use AI, but you have to use your cognitive ability as well. So you have the reading assistant with the follow-up question. You have the compare experiment. So all these are tasks that you can actually use to accelerate the process of collecting data, not doing the work itself. If you do that, it is unethical, okay? Because you are not doing the ideation. So, for example, this is a screenshot of an AI, the Science.ai. So you have the question here, what is your research question? So it is a research question rather than a task saying that, okay, do this, analyze this, extract that, extract that. You can use other LLM to do that. For example, there are functions in Gemini, built into Google Slides that will allow you to immediately access and analyze data in Google Sheets, and also some limited function in Microsoft Copilot, where you can use it in Microsoft Excel. Okay, but Science Direct doesn't work that way. Science Direct work in a way that will benefit your cognitive process. So you have to design your query as a question. So what is it? What we call conversation. So what is your research question? So you have to ask it question. So there will be a back and forth exchange where it is a friction-rich experience. You will gain advantage from that. So, for example, you have the question, you have the follow-up question at the bottom there. You can see the way the structured question is to help assist the thinking process, the research process, rather than purely transactional. So, with this kind of example, okay, these are the result. So, example result, when we ask a question, okay, what are the new species in Sabah? You can see that it gives the location. Again, yes, we have to double check it, but at least you can see that it is been giving all the references sourced by within the Scopus text. Okay, Scopus text. So you have the source and you have the summary. So this is example of the output. So the second function is the compare experiment function, whereby you have the paper. Okay, if you were to do this manually, okay, you read the paper, but then you have to physically copy and paste and extract and look at the method. So using Science.ai, it helps you to collect information into a more parsable, into a more understandable format. So you still have to read the paper, because if you don't read the paper, you're not sure whether the data being tabled here is correct or not correct. So this is a function within Science Direct, will immediately extract the information. For example, from these two papers, you want to know what are the methods, what are the material, what are the goals. So immediately it gives you a morphological description, a pre-treatment, a dissection, so you can quickly compare and look at, for example, different methodologies and the result and the conclusion. So it helps organize your knowledge compared to just giving it to other LLM, and then the LLM will create the table without actually providing sometimes hallucination, sometimes the error. If you notice in the news recently, in Hong Kong University, there are cases where a student has now submitted thesis generated by AI, and then there are investigation on it. So you can Google it in the news. So for example, here you have another paper from the same scenario of Sabah research. Okay, you have the techniques, the survey, you have the result, the interviews, correlation analysis, quantitative. So it helps organize the knowledge. Okay, it does not represent the process itself. It just makes it easier for you to be able to move forward faster with your research. Okay, so with Science.ai, the general task, the general workflow, you can use it as a broad starting point. Okay, define research question. You can use it to define keyword, identify authors, which authors are the leading authors, which papers, because the papers are already published in Scopus, in Index Journal. So we believe that it has the quality necessary for us to follow the author. So you have a process called triage. So you read the abstract, the conclusion, so the AI shortlisted paper, and then with that, it creates a process whereby you check. You really not about collecting the knowledge, but checking the knowledge. The process of collecting the knowledge are made easier by AI, but then you have to verify. And then after the reading assistant, you can actually now look at the pile here. Okay, for example, you've collected, you filtered. Now you can focus on reading which one do you feel needs your attention. So you read the yes pile. We have a yes pile. And then you can critically read, you can verify every AI claim. Remember, every paper has the blue link. And also you can start writing, because you already have your other AI tool to polish the grammar. So your task the mode of you doing research, especially research writing, it has evolved. So if you look at the summary of the use of Science.ai, okay, or any other AI based writing tool, okay, the role is shifting from creator to critic, because you are actually not doing the 100% creation. You have assistant, but then you need to criticize. Okay, am I getting the right source? Is this source trusted? Is the link given by the uh, AI, is it correct? Can I trust it? So you have to act more of a critic and less of a creator. Okay, especially for non-English speaking, native speaking. So it will help you train and improve your writing. Okay, and help polish. Previously, we have to submit to journal editing services. You have to pay. I remember early on in my career, I used AJE a lot. So now with the AI tool, that task, okay, will make it easier for you to produce content writing that is up to standard to the journal that you want to publish. So the new bottleneck is the verification. So you need to verify the knowledge. The knowledge is easy. The knowledge is a click away, but you have to verify. So we see verification as a new tax, a tax of your time. Will spend more time on verifying rather than collecting. Okay, so the model is you use AI for breadth, the coverage, to get as large as possible, as much knowledge as possible, so that you can synthesize what is best, but then you yourself have to provide the depth. So the understanding itself must come from you, where you filter, you critique, you verify. So the role has now changed. And then you have to remember the AI is a tool, it cannot be an author. Okay, it cannot be held responsible. Nobody is going to blame the AI. Okay, it has no ethics, it has no integrity, and it has no stake in the work. So it's not AI work, it's your work. So your role as accountability, holding all the accountability, still exists. Okay. So science AI in action with conversational exploration. So we'll do that now. Okay. Uh, so before I start off with the uh, online, okay, any questions from the recipient, the attendee? Sorry.
There's some Q&A, so maybe I will flash it out on the screen.
Yes, please.
So the first question is, are there attempts of creating a direct connection to AI in our human consciousness, such as in relation to Elon Musk's Neuralink? If so, how do you think this would affect our ability in the workplace?
Okay. Having a neural link, like link, in the workplace, is still a far. It's not far fetched, but far away in the future. So if you Google up the news relating Neuralink, Elon Musk has now tested on five to six subjects. Okay, all of these subjects are debilitating disease. They have ALS. They are quadriplegic. Okay, they can't move. So it is the matter of um, improving the system. But in theory, the system works. Okay, and it has been approved by FDA. So the challenge now, okay, if you read the news, the challenge now is pinpointing the right, for example, location of the pins inside your brain, because neural link work by having an external, I would say, processor, and then you're gonna have the pin embedded into the surface of your brain. So the electrode will then collect the information. So the next target now is helping translate visual cues, so helping the blind to see. So to answer your question, yes, it will somehow get into our research space, but I doubt that it will replace researchers. For example, it will enhance, do some kind of android, robot, sci-fi, kind of like Marvel movie style. Most of the development right now is trying to help patient or help other people that require, for example, mobility, movement, visual, people with impairment. It is not yet to the stage where it is about enhancing your human capability. It's more of completing or helping those with impairment. Yeah.
Okay, so for the next question we have is, I am wondering about the accuracy of the information in compare experiments function. How accurate is it?
Okay. If you were to use the compare experiment, at a glance, okay, we kind of say that it's accurate because it is being sourced by the paper itself. So the corpus is there. So it is not hallucinating by extracting other sources. Okay. The problem that I've seen using compare experiment is sometimes the context. Okay, the context of the experiment. So the context of experiment, sometimes when we have multi, we say, for example, social sciences, okay, you have a questionnaire, you have a different context of the question, for example, different people, different groups. So you have the same experiment but different context. Sometimes the mistake is when they extract it, they have the context wrong. So far that I've seen is as such. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate for social science, but for STEM or for technical, for engineering, in the methodology where context is less of a concern, you already have the parameters, the setup, the equipment wise, for example, if you want to do a certain instrument, etc. Those are more accurate, I would say. So far, I haven't seen major errors because the definition, the experiment, if you're looking from a STEM perspective, engineering perspective, is quite uh, straightforward, you can say. It's quite out there. It's very visible, very overt compared to social sciences with sometimes in the text or methodology, you have the different context and then the different result. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. So we have one more question. Hold on. ScienceDirect AI can be useful in reviewing manuscripts, assisting reviewers in evaluating content, and may also have applications for other publishers such as Springer. So,
Okay. My experience using this, I would say, analysis of text. I have, I would say, most longest experience in Notebook LM, Google Notebook LM. So if you were to Google, okay, I'll just open this Notebook LM. Okay, so Notebook LM provides, I would say, a folder where you can throw in all your publications, irrespective of whether it's Elsevier, Springer, any text you can put in. For example, government reports, non-index paper, white paper, non-research articles, you can put it there. So to answer your question, Springer has yet to launch something like Science.ai. The main advantage of Science.ai is it is based on the Scopus index. So the Scopus index is the basis for a lot of, not a lot, I think most of the university ranking. If you look at time higher education, you look at QS ranking, look at impact, SDG, so all are sourced by their millions and millions and millions of papers. Okay, so by using Science.ai, my experience is it taps on that verified source purpose. But if I were to do it on external outside of Science Direct, where I have to analyze papers that is not dependent on from Elsevier index or Scopus index, so the alternative that I would use is Notebook LM. So using this system, you can throw in all your Elsevier paper as well as your Springer paper, and as well as your own, for example, thesis if you have content that is not indexed as a journal. So it provides an alternative to Science Direct AI, and there are many other functions that you can use in Nobu LM, which you can explore on your own. Yeah.
Next question is, I tend to use AI as a tool for brainstorming and polishing my academic writing. So, in your opinion, where should we draw the line between using AI as support and over reliance on it?
Okay. My personal understanding in this is that the red line that you cannot cross is the ideation line. Okay, if you cross that line, for example, you have the support role of AI. For example, when you used it, okay, two things that I make sure. One is do not cross the ideation line. Second, treat AI as a partner. So if you look at Science Direct AI here, okay, type the research question, okay, look at the example that you have. It is more of querying into the knowledge. So by doing that, you gain the understanding as well as the output, but not the transaction. So if you want to say, for example, okay, what is, for example, rare earth, right? Uh, Let me see, what is the challenges in rare earth research, for example. I'm going to use this. So the way you use the question is you ask it a question for it to answer, and then with this kind of question, you can look at this. Okay, okay, it's analyzing the question, optimizing your question. So the output that you produce is that it help you understand the knowledge rather than create a report for rare earth research. Okay, if you use LLM, so you don't want it to be transactional, you don't want it to give the ideas, you want to help give you the knowledge so that the idea will come from you. So gives you example here. If you notice here in the bold text, in the bold text, so if you want to scan and focus and jump and skip, you can see the main keywords being highlighted by black text bold, and then you have the references here. And if you look here, all the references are quite recent, and then it is arranged in such a way that it is under a subheading, etc. So then you know, okay, it's technical challenges, chemical stability, luminescence efficiency, there's some gaps, some recycling, application, data. So it will also help create the summary table of the text. So yes, we're gonna use it as a partner to understand. But then if you were to do it manually, if you write your own, it's better. But if you were to do it manually, you still have to summarize. The summarize is assisted by this function, for example, the summary table, key challenges, so give the citation, etc. So when you click the citation here, industry economic production control, profitability, so you click this, there's a preview on the right there, the reference preview. So this is a review paper, TBOB 2023, a journal this. So with the key indicator here, you know, for example, is this person somebody who does research in rare earth, the journal they publish, the year, and then you can view the article here. You can click and it will open up the article. So immediately you can check. So it becomes your assistant. So it gives the insight found in the abstract, etc. So in order for you to use it ethically, use it as a research partner rather than a research tool lah, the way you transact. So here you can see that references, imaging team. So it gives you recommendation of the teams that Scopus AI has identified, classic the documents. It gives you the reference of the summary. Okay, it gives you, for example, okay, I'm just going to scroll down. The imaging teams here. I go back to the imaging team. So you have the references, sustainable recovery, environmental high impact. So consistent team, you have the source. So it opens up, it gives you the ideation. So you don't want for you to ask the AI, okay, give me an idea and write this on that, write something about gaps or white space. You want it to give the knowledge so that you can decide on your own. So the data come from you. After you undergo this process, you become smarter after the process. Okay. And then you have the compare experiment to answer the earlier question. So we can click the compare experiment. Okay, it's doing the comparing of the experiment. Okay. So these are the experiment. And if you notice here, uh, our question is challenges, but then the compare experiment is on other articles that do not follow the earlier paper. So this is what I mean, because for example here a review, okay, and this is a, uh, experimental result. Okay, fast lantern night complex based on hazard. This is a lab experiment, and then there is a paper here on a review. So the method is using bibliometric method. So yes, they extract, but the context is different. So far the weakness that I see, that we have to filter out because they will extract the information but missing the context. So this is what I mean just now. So it is still useful to make everything faster, but you have to be wary about the context. Okay, so I hope that answers the question.
Okay, we'll just answer a few more questions.
Yeah.
So, for emerging research fields with limited publications of data, is the application of science direct AI constrained?
Okay. Yes. The simplest answer is yes. It is constrained because, for example, the data is dependent on the paper being indexed and put into the Scopus index. Okay, so there will be a lag between publishing the data, getting the research out, getting it in the journal, and then the journal information getting indexed. So it will not be too long, okay, but there is a gap. So we have to admit that there will be a gap if you really into precise and current information. Okay, the good thing is because it is based on Scopus data, so it is being vetted through. You can trust the journal. Okay, the journal is from the body of knowledge that you're familiar with. So if, for example, if you into rare earth, you know that the journal, the well established journal, and the editors are supposed to work how they're supposed to work. So there is some kind of embedded quality control. So that is the most advantage. But to answer your question, simple answer is there will be a challenge if the paper is not updated in the Scopus database. Yeah.
We are already approaching agentic AI. What do you think would be the impact of this new era of AI to research?
Okay. My experience talking about this. Okay, I haven't personally used agentic AI. Okay, but what will happen is in my experience, they will be more specialized AI. When people talk about macam open AI, they talk about AI being a general AI, general intelligence, AGI, artificial general intelligence. It will be good for like 90% of the function, but for certain function for research, there will be a separate AI for a particular task. For example, let's say you're going to look at Google. Google just launched their Google Earth function tool where it helps analyze the climate change data through the platform of Google Earth. So they have all these satellite data where they will capture, for example, time difference. So they will design a specific AI for a specific use case. So you will have many AI which is specialized, and then you're gonna have a higher overload, I would say, overload or manager AI on top of that layer of the agentic AI. So there will be tier of AI using a specific AI. So for example, let's look at Grok. For example, Grok from X, Twitter, Elon Musk is very good in analysis, but the function is the future Grok would be able to use other AI to insert other AI. So the agent itself will work with an overload, a higher level manager AI. So right now, both innovation are working in tandem, having a very good AGI plus especially agentic AI. But the discussion that we have in that sphere is that you're going to have a tiered level of AI where an AI will identify which AI to use because the AI, for example, the specific analysis is dedicated for that domain. So that is what has been in discussion. Yeah.
There's still quite a few questions, but let's just answer one or two more. So,
Yeah.
what are the advantages and risks of assisted research projects for early career researchers?
Okay, this is an often question that I receive. Okay, the problem with early career researchers is that in order for you to become senior researchers, you have to polish. Yeah? We use the word polish to polish yourself. You have to be there. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to prove yourself. You have to be able to um, show evidence of your competency in doing the research. Okay, the challenge of using AI is that the AI makes the process faster, cheaper in some ways, but it does not improve you. It does not polish you. Okay, so it's like having Google Maps or ways to travel from one place to another. Yes, the hard way is for you to travel using the signs, the road, identifying and going through the process. So whenever, for example, in myself, if from Johor Bahru I want to go to Kuala Lumpur, okay, I know all the routes, alternative routes, etc. So you use Waze or Google Maps to gather the data just to check the real time position of the traffic condition traffic so that you have the a more accurate decision making whether to go onto the highway or use a smaller roads, etc. The problem with the younger generation using this example is that some of them, even my students, they do not know how to go to a certain place without opening Waze or Google Maps. They have no sense of direction. They don't know which is east, which is north. They just key in the place and they just go follow. They don't know, okay, we should turn left here, right here. Okay, this is south of us. This is east of us. They lose the sense of direction. They lose the cognitive ability to identify the surrounding, whether they are in the right road or the wrong road. So the challenge for early career researchers is similar to that. You don't want to use AI until you use your cognitive awareness in terms of your research landscape, which cause you in the long run not to be seen as competent. Therefore, losing your place in the hierarchy in the education. So that is the challenge, and that is how you need to be. You must be able to still have awareness while using the AI because you treat the AI as a partner rather than a tool. So a partner to assist you. So I hope I get a thumbs up for that.
Okay, the last question. What are the ethical and data privacy considerations when using AI in research?
Okay, the ethical line is that again, you have to be responsible for your work. You have to check. The problem with using AI, okay, a lot of discussion in this space has talked about the verification issue. You can have a tsunami of writing, of data, of information, but because of the nature of the AI, you don't know whether this is correct. Does it is it using the right publication for the right context? And again, the other thing is you lose your ability to write. If you don't write, you don't know how to write. So if you don't have AI, you cannot write. So the ethics of it, the trust factor, the trust of you presenting the work as if you are competent. So this is the ethics that we have to be careful. And the data privacy concern, if you upload your data into uh, ChatGPT, into Cloudy, into Gemini, obviously that data will be stored somewhere, whether it's being shared, we don't know. We have to read the fine print. But there are concerns. For example, if you were to use AI, especially coming from the China, from China, you have Quen, etc. So there has been talk about, can we trust Quen, for example? Can we trust the Chinese-based AI? So I told them that the Chinese side, they make their algorithm, they make their code open source. You can have a look, okay? But you don't know how open source is Gemini, or you don't know how open source is ChatGPT, because you're using it as a tool online. But at least from the Chinese side, they allow you to download, allow you to install, allow you to look at the code, etc. So trust issue will be there, data privacy will be there. We have to be aware of it lah. There's no way around it.